World War II was a time of unimaginable horrors, and soldiers faced challenges that pushed them to their physical and mental limits. But what happens when those limits are shattered by drugs? This is the strange, incredible story of a Finnish soldier who overdosed on methamphetamine during combat and survived one of the most bizarre experiences of the entire war. In 1944, Finland was locked in the Winter War, fighting against the Soviet Union in one of the harshest environments imaginable. Cold, hunger, and exhaustion were daily realities for soldiers on the front lines. And sometimes, those soldiers turned to drastic measures to keep themselves going. One of those soldiers was a man named Aimo Koivunen. Koivunen was part of a Finnish ski patrol operating behind enemy lines. In the blistering cold, with enemy forces on their trail, exhaustion began to take its toll on Koivunen and his comrades. But this wasn't just any war. During World War II, soldiers from several nations were given drugs to boost their alertness and endurance. One such drug was Pervitin, a methamphetamine that kept soldiers awake for days at a time. The Germans used it extensively, and it even made its way into the hands of Finnish soldiers like Koivunen. Imagine being deep in the frozen wilderness, facing the enemy, with no energy left to keep going. Koivunen reached for his stash of Pervitin, hoping it would give him the strength to continue skiing through the snow. But here's where things took a turn for the worse. In his exhausted state, Koivunen fumbled with the pills. Instead of taking just one, he swallowed the entire bottle, enough methamphetamine to kill several men. What followed was a surreal, drug-fueled nightmare. The overdose hit him fast. Soon, Koivunen was skiing for his life, not only from the Soviets, but from the hallucinations that gripped his mind. Koivunen became separated from his patrol, hallucinating wildly as the methamphetamine surged through his system. His perception of reality crumbled. He wasn't just a soldier anymore. He was a man lost in a nightmarish wilderness, not knowing what was real and what wasn't. Over the next several days, Koivunen skied over 400 kilometers through enemy territory, completely alone. He had no food and no shelter. His only companion? The meth-fueled haze that blurred the lines between life and death. By all logic, Koivunen should have died, either from the overdose or the brutal conditions. But somehow, he kept going. He survived for nearly 2 weeks, battling hunger, frostbite, and the harsh elements, all while evading Soviet forces. At one point, he even detonated a landmine, but still, the meth kept him moving. When he was finally rescued, his body was ravaged. His heart was racing at an incredible speed, and he was severely malnourished. Yet somehow, he had survived one of the most bizarre ordeals of World War II. After the war, Koivunen lived a relatively quiet life, and his story became one of the many bizarre and tragic tales of World War II. A tale of survival, desperation, and the strange intersection of drugs and warfare. If you enjoyed this story and want to hear more strange tales from World War II, hit that subscribe button and make sure to turn on notifications. Thanks for watching, and until next time, stay curious.